4 years since I last spoke with Daisy Shaw. That was during the pandemic. We did an
Yes.
Instagram live together, and now she's
Hmm.
celebrating a decade in Hindi cinema as an
Yeah.
actor as well.
I
So,
think this is
Daisy Percy,
fluctuating. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
congratulations on celebrating 10 years in
Thank
Bollywood.
you. Thank you so much.
I think when you first received that call that you were going to be working with Salman Khan in Jai Ho to
Hmm.
maybe
Hmm.
now where you've had like this massive body of work behind you, how would you
Uh-huh.
say the two sort of mindsets, how would you say the mindset has changed or evolved over time?
So when I got a call from Salman sir, I couldn't believe, first of all, because I was told that I have to audition for the role. And to be very honest, at that point of time, even they were not sure which role I was supposed to play, whether I was going to get the role or not. But then I gave the audition, and apparently I passed it, and I did get the lead role in the film. And yeah, so it was, to be very honest, for the first, I guess, even when we were shooting for the film, it was very difficult, for the fact to sink in that, okay, I am doing a film with Salman Khan as his leading actor. And yeah, feels like a dream. Yeah.
Right. And do you know what is very interesting? Because I remember seeing Tere Naina Maar Hi Dalenge, right? The video.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing that came to my mind is like the looks that you had really reminded me of a young Rani Mukherjee. I think I've mentioned this
Okay.
to you as well before. In fact, there's been
Yeah.
so many times where you kind of had this charm, which, oh, I mean, of course, you have your own identity and you're great as, obviously, as Daisy Shaw, of course. But there was certain sort of looks about you that really brought us back and brought us memories of the younger actresses, of the sort of big superstars that we see today, but back when they were young.
Yeah.
Was that something that sort of a reaction that you got as well, when you were working in the industry, when
No,
you
many times a lot of people have come up to me and said that, you are a mixture of Rani and Shilpa somewhere. Uh, so I'm like, yeah, I'm like, even when, like Rani, I have not met personally, but Shilpa I've met many times, and Shilpa herself tells me that, oh, meet my sister. Oh, she's my sister. So yeah, I've always had this resemblance with her, maybe because of the hair, because she also has the same kind of hair. So
Hmm.
yeah, it feels good, when someone, like an actor of that caliber like Shilpa coming and telling you that, I feel you're my sister. So it's a great thing.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think also what really helps, I think, or might have helped with your role in J-Ho is because you've been an assistant choreographer as well,
Yes, yes.
with Ganesh Acharya sir. So,
Mm.
and again, when it comes to Ganesh Acharya, I think the first word that comes to my mind is Masi. When it comes to the sort of
Yeah, yeah.
dance numbers that he's choreographed and worked on, do you feel that somewhere because you've had that exposure to commercial Hindi cinema, that
Hmm.
helped you to match with the sensibilities of a film like J-Ho as well back then?
It did actually. See, films, now people have started inclining towards more realistic cinema where, they want to show the actual role of a woman or a man, and deriving inspiration from real life characters and making movies out of it. Before that, it was all massy. It was all like a dreamy kind of a thing, that like a scenario which would really not happen in real life, because that's why they say कि filmy प्यार प्यार नहीं होता, filmy झगड़ा झगड़ा नहीं होता. So
Huh.
yeah. But now the thought process has changed. A lot of people, like even the audience, they I think it's the audience demand where we have inclined towards more realistic cinema.
Hmm. Right. I think also, Daisy, this journey has obviously it's been interesting to sort of analyze and see where it's gone.
Hmm.
I think for you when you began, I mean, of course, after such a big debut, right? And it was a really nice film. I still watch J-Ho and I still really enjoy it. But there's somehow, do you feel that there was a certain way that you would have imagined it to go? And do you kind of feel like, gosh, it went a certain way? Do you have that any sort of regret or maybe any wish?
Initially yes, I thought कि काश ये ऐसे हो जाता, काश ये वैसे हो जाता. Why? Like I remember when the movie released and the box office results came out, I was sitting with Salman sir and I told him that why is like people saying कि it didn't make money, or it did not do the amount of business that it was meant to do, or something like that. But then Salman sir himself told me that's because they are not realizing the fact that we never increased the rates of the tickets. The
Hmm.
ticket rates were really low. Like even on the weekends, it was minimal. What to say? Yeah, so
I'd say.
basically, if you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
the movie's caption said, like, the tagline was "People's Man." So this was the entire thought process behind it, that a common man, a people's man, cannot make a hole in a common man's pocket. The reason why the ticket rates were low, the movie was tax free. A lot many things, a lot many elements went into it, where a lot of people knew about it, but then they royally ignored.
Hmm. Yeah.
And also forgetting the fact that the film was, I think it was a 60 crore budget film, and the movie did a business of almost 120 crores, which is like two times the amount of money in which the movie was made. So if we see from this aspect, the movie has made money on the box office. But again, it's a Salman Khan film. Salman Khan himself has a very cult following, right? So people are like, कि नहीं, Salman Khan का picture है तो इतना होना चाहिए, उतना होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए. That's fine. वो अपना अपना perspective है. That's totally okay.
Yeah, and I think also the year before, I don't think 2013, I can't remember what films of his came out, but I think at that point as well, he was really on that massive, massive sort of
Yeah, yeah.
high of like giving
So
back
there
to
were
back.
two films released. There were two films released in the same year, 2014.
Yeah,
January, Jeho was
yeah.
released, and I
Kick.
think June or July, Kick was released.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what it is as well. But I think when you do the film like that, obviously people have always have something to say, right? Like, I mean,
hmm.
you can't, as an actor, as a public figure, you can never, लोगों का मुंह तो बंद नहीं करा सकते हो आप. But
Yeah,
how
yeah.
have you learned to deal with criticism and learn to deal with critique as well, in particular?
Luckily, I've been surrounded with a lot of positive minds, and one of my really dear friends, she told me that always remember this fact that people can give you only what they have. So if someone is criticizing me, or someone is sending hate on me, or people are throwing uh, muck at me in words. Okay. I feel sorry for them because that is all what they have to offer me.
Hmm.
So if you understand what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say, or
yeah, of
where I'm
course.
coming from, right? So if you are filled with love, if your life is full of love, all you have to offer is love. If your life is full, it's full with money, it's filled with money, all you have is to offer money.
Hmm.
And if imagine like तुम्हारे जिंदगी में इतना सारा हेट भरा हुआ है, उसके अंदर से आप मुझे एक कतरा दे रहे हो, सो rather than feeling sorry for myself, I'll feel sorry for that person, because that person needs to get out of that negative mindset.
Hmm. And I think also, I think sort of things change a little bit after Race 3 happened for you, in a sense. Like, obviously, I mean, the film was what it was. But
Yeah,
the your meme, I think our business is our business, none of your
yeah,
business.
yeah,
I mean, that went viral. I mean, this and at
yeah,
that point, Instagram and all social media was still kind of like not at its peak. Right now, it's at its peak, but it was still kind of edging towards that zone. So, I mean,
yeah.
you were technically a viral queen at that point. I mean, how
Yeah.
did that make you feel at that point in time? I mean, did you kind
I
of
was uh, I was really shocked because Salman sir himself he told me कि पहली बार ऐसे हुआ है कि मेरी फिल्म के अंदर किसी और का डायलॉग फेमस हो रहा है. And
that's
and he said it in a very good way. Okay, so he was very happy about the fact that the dialogue went viral, and everybody started using that dialogue in their day-to-day life, also trolling me. But that's fine, it's okay. I mean, that's what they say, like showbiz, any kind of publicity is good publicity, so
Yeah, that's so true. That is very true. There is no such thing as bad publicity at all.
yeah.
But I think when it comes to life generally, Daisy, do you how have you learned? I mean, because the one thing that I know, I've got to know about you is that you're someone who's very, like, you're very bindas. There's no sense of like you thinking too deeply about
That is
things.
also a problem. That is also a problem because I'm so
Right, tell me.
unfiltered.
Yeah,
I am
let's talk
so
about that.
unfiltered. Like I cannot live in pretense at all. For me, I have to say it the way it is, not because I am rude or because that's how I am. I'm a Virgo. Come on, I'm supposed to say it that way. Like I've been born that way. I try to sugarcoat things, but eventually it doesn't happen because what happens is like if I'm going to say something which I don't like to you, I'll have to remember next time
Hmm.
what I told you. And then to cover that up, I'll have to say again something to cover that up again. So it's an ongoing process which there's too much to remember what I said the first time.
Hmm.
So it's better if I say how the things are, whether you like it or not.
Hmm.
But
So
yeah, that's a problem.
no, but it's very good. No, I think I just love people who are very upfront and who say things as it is. I think it's such a beautiful thing. We need that. I feel like, see, political correctness is good to an extent, but I think when it goes
Hmm.
overboard, you kind of need that sense of reality sort of brought in. So, what would you say, even though you are someone who says it how it is and what you see is what you get, but who actually offers you that when you need it the most as well
Hmm.
sometimes?
Well, there's Salman sir. Even he doesn't sugarcoat things. He says it the way it is.
That's true.
Uh, yeah, and uh, and then obviously it's your family. I mean, family is not going to sugarcoat things for you. They are going to say it the way it is, whether you like it or not. So yeah, it's my mom, my sister, my cousins. They all say, like, even my nephews, in fact. My nephews
Hmm.
are very, very upfront. They're like, Masi, we don't like this. It's bull crap. I said, okay.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
I think also there's been opportunities that obviously, like I mentioned earlier, that have come your way. Some have worked, some haven't. How have you
Hmm.
learned to deal with failure as well, even with this whole very upfront and sort of what you see is what you get attitude? How do you think that's
Well,
helped
if I see my journey till date, I do not see any kind of failure anywhere. That's because I come from a very middle class family. My dad was a driver, to be very honest. He used to take families he owned a yellow plate car, and like how we see Uber today. So then one of the drivers of Uber, that's what my dad was. And being a daughter of a person who was really like lower middle class family has made it this big. I don't see any kind of failure anywhere. Like today, I live in a better house. I commute in a better vehicle. I have that kind of sources to help 10 other people if anybody needs it. Right. So I think I mean, I cannot complain about anything that's happened in my life. God has only given me things in every phase of my life till date.
Right. Oh, absolutely. No, 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 for sure. I think it's a blessing. It's definitely a
Yeah.
blessing. I think also another thing is that Salman, I feel, has this very I think he has this affinity to people who he feels that are very honest. I've
Hmm.
seen this in a lot of, like, every time I've seen him interact with people, even on Big Boss, even
Hmm.
when I sort of interviewed him as well, I feel like he has a very good way of reading people, actually.
Yeah,
And
he
I think
does.
people
He
who are
does.
specifically very honest and very upfront. Do you think, is that a quality, do you think that's really appealed to him the most about you as well? Is the fact that you are
Uh,
someone who says it
so
how it
there was a time where I said no to one of his films before Jeho.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, so that was Bodyguard, but obviously it was not Karina's role. It was the other role which I said no to, and he kind of didn't take it too well because I said no to him. And when Jeho happened during the shoot on one of the days, he told me that I was really pissed off at you because you said no to me for Bodyguard. I was only helping you out. I was trying to give you a platform, and I told him that it's not about that. It's just that the role that you were offering me was had nothing to do. First of all, there was like it had no dance, it had nothing. Like there was nothing that I could show as uh acting wise or dance wise, nothing. So I would have been there in the film, but I would just been there without even showcasing anything. So then, after a couple of years, he told me that, that is one quality that I really liked about you. That, a lot of people, when I offer them a movie without even seeing through it, they'll say yes. But you were the first person to say no to me. And I think this is one quality that I really liked about you, that you do not, uh, you do not go for the show of the entire thing, you go for the substance. Right.
yes.
So, yeah. So that is one quality that he really liked about me. And that is the reason why he called me again and he asked me to audition for Jeho. And that's how Jeho happened.
Oh, amazing. That's so interesting. I did not know this, that you were sort of approached for Bodyguard.
No,
But
that's
no,
also because I guess there was one story that happened to him like with him actually, when he was starting off as an actor. So he was called by one of the ace producers at that time for one of the roles for some film, to which he said no.
Ah,
So I think
yes.
that's how he related the entire scenario.
And I've also realized this as well. Like he often resembles a lot of, like, there's always a resemblance kind of a thing or something or someone from his life, which I kind of really resonate with actually a lot. Like it's quite
Oh,
crazy because I never actually thought that I would be able to really like relate with Salman so closely. Like even just after doing his
okay.
interview, it was insane. And I think it's wonderful to see how that dynamic is played out. So it's great to know that you've always gone for substance in that sense. And I know you've got a few projects on hand currently. You've been
Yes.
busy working. If you could talk us through about your characters in
So
those projects.
right now I am shooting for a film called Bihu Attack. It's an army-based film. When it's going to be in two parts. So the first part doesn't really have much to do for me, but yeah, in the second part there's a lot of. So it is because it's an army-based film. There's going to be a lot of action, and also I guess after seeing Race, that is the reason why I was being casted in this movie, is because Race had a lot of action as Ghost of Gandhi. So we are yet to commence the shoot because unfortunately the director is not keeping well. So once you know, the entire health comes back to normal, that's when we'll start resume the shoot.
Hmm. Also, I absolutely loved Gujarat 11. I think, in
Ah,
fact, that's how we first interacted was actually through a
yes.
podcast that we did, if you remember.
Yep,
I
yep.
mean, Pacho Gujarati film nathi kar rahi? What's happening on that
I
front?
want to, I want to. I don't know where the Gujarati makers are. I don't know why they are not contacting me. I don't know at all. So yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. I am really positive about everything that happens in my life and that will happen in my life. And I think whenever there's a suitable role that actually the makers think that I will able to carry it off well, I'm pretty sure they will contact me.
Hmm. But again, Gujarat 11, I think we should definitely talk about that because I think your role in there was very beautiful. I think you played like it was a coach as well. It was a very
Yes,
sports-driven
yes,
film,
yeah.
and the
It's
character that
one of my favorite films that I've done.
yeah.
And the lot of things that I got to learn on that. I mean, I never knew F of football, to be very honest. Like S of soccer, whichever term you want to use here. So I remember that every morning before we started shooting for the film. By 6 o'clock, I was at the turf learning football, learning how to kick, learning how to do a goal. There are a lot many things that I had to learn. There are a lot of back end work that goes before starting the shoot of such films, which has some kind of sport in it. I'm sure a
Hmm.
lot of actors who are working on a sports based film, they know what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. But do you think also after doing like Gujarat 11 as well, that kind of did it influence maybe or maybe change your perspective to the craft of acting as well in that sense? Because obviously it was very different to what you had done, previously.
Yeah, yeah. No, to be very honest, like even if you do any kind of film, any kind of project that you work on, there's always some kind of homework that you have to do. There are no projects where you are like, कि आज आपने sign किया है ना, चलो कल से हम लोग shooting start कर देंगे. No, and there's a lot of homework that goes in. There are a lot of script readings. Like Gujarat 11, I remember we did 11 days ka workshop with all the actors together. We did script reading just to get used to or get familiar with each other so that once we are on sets there's no kind of uncomfortableness with each other.
That's amazing. Right, let's talk a bit about Khatron Ke Khiladi because I think when I saw you on that show, I was very pleasantly surprised because it was just very unexpected. Like I just wasn't expecting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I think for you, as an unexpected view as it was for me, I'm sure it must have been quite unexpected for you as an actor to really go onto this show. I mean,
It
what did
was,
that
it
mean?
was.
Yeah.
But Khatro is one kind of show that I always wanted to be a part of. That's also because of the adrenaline rush that you get from all the stunts that you do there. Because come on, in real life, you don't get to jump from a helicopter. You just can't, right? So there are a lot of experiences that you get when you are being a part of a show like Khatro, because first of all, as I said, like the choppers, the car stunts, the animal stunts. Like I haven't seen a lion this close ever in front of me, but I have. After doing Khatro, I can proudly say that yes, I have seen a lion from this close. So yeah, the entire experience was great. It was amazing. It felt like a different territory altogether, which I had never touched.
Hmm, right. I mean, when it comes to Khatron Ke Khiladi, though, I think one thing that Indian reality shows, are great at doing
Hmm.
is indulging in the drama.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
my God.
so. I
Yeah.
think how difficult was it for you actually at that point as well? Because see, I'm sure outside of the show, everyone that you meet, I'm sure you're probably okay with, right? Like
Hmm.
in that sense, like
Hmm.
you probably just get
Yeah.
on well with each other. You say hello,
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you're in that environment, how do you deal with the drama there? Because I just find it, I mean, it gets quite cringe to watch sometimes, I'm not gonna
But
lie.
if you have followed Khatro season, you'll see that I was nowhere in the drama.
That's true. That's true as
I
well.
I steered clear because I was very clear from the first day that I am here for the stunts. I'm not here for the drama. And if I want to get into the drama space, I would rather ask you to cast me for Big Boss and not Khatro.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because my next question was actually regarding that. Would you ever consider doing Big Boss?
No, no,
Really?
it's too toxic. For me, it is too toxic to be a part of.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go back to Gujarat 11 and talk about your sort of space in Gujarati because I think one thing that I've always admired about you, Daisy, is that you are someone who is very unapologetic about who you are. Like I said as well before, like you embrace that Gujaratiness with all with everything. I mean, your first film had like lines from in Gujarati. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it was composed
yeah,
by a Gujarati. So
yeah.
again,
Yeah.
how important has your cultural roots and your language been for you in your life?
Well, I mean, how do I even say that I'm born in a Gujarati family? I think the entire credit goes to my mom, my mother, because she made sure that we stayed rooted to our culture, to the language that we have been born with. And even today, uh, like we might speak a lot many languages when we go out, like Marathi, Hindi, like I also speak Kannada. I also like two, three languages that I speak. But when we are home, there's Gujarati. I mean, there's no other word apart from Gujarati that we speak in the house. And that also, like, it goes to that level. Like, if you know, like, Gujus are generally, they have high pitch. Many times that has happened to me where I am in a social setting and I'm talking about something with someone and I've gotten a little excited about that topic. My pitch goes so high, and then people look at me and say, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "No, no, I'm a Gujarati. Please ignore that."
It's actually true.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's so wonderful. And like you mentioned, yes, you do speak Kannada as well. I think you've also worked in some South films as well in
Yes,
your
that's
career
where
as
I
well.
started from as an actor.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
amazing. And Kannada cinema is on such a revival at the moment. I think
yeah,
there's some
yeah.
wonderful contents sort of being made there. Um, I'm sure you must also have a keen interest, I'm sure, going back to South and working in South films and content as well.
I have no apprehensions on working in any industry. For me, the project has to be interesting enough to be a part of. It needs the character itself needs to challenge me in a certain way for me to grow, and not not to show the people that I can do it. No, because it is a challenge for me that I have to pull it off by hook or by crook.
Hmm. And how are you feeling about this whole pan-India movement that's really gaining traction now? Like the fact that Indian cinema is literally united on that front. It's one
Yeah,
entity now. How are you
yeah,
feeling about that? It must make you feel so proud because, like, you've been a part of that. You've been in Gujarati cinema, you've been in Hindi cinema, you've been in South cinema.
yeah.
So you've technically had that pan-India experience.
Yeah, I've been one of those lucky few that have been a part of quite a lot of regional cinemas also. And all I can say is that every project has just made me a better person, made me understand a lot many things, because the more you interact with people, the more wiser you get in life. And That's also because when I said that Big Boss is too toxic for me, is because what happens in that show is people don't let people be.
Hmm.
The show is all about you need to fit in my box, and if you don't, then you are completely wrong. So
Yeah.
that is the reason. So for me, because I've met a lot of people in my life, they have made me wiser. They have taught me so many things. For me, today, when if someone comes and tells me, no, this is 10, but I say it's one, but that person is saying 10, for me, that's okay, great. Because from your point of view, you're saying 10. From my side, I'm seeing one.
Yeah, that's so true. I think people just I think they've just been put off by all the jhagadas. Like it just seems very frivolous, when you look at the larger picture of things. Right? Do you kind of feel that? I mean, has COVID impacted you that way as well? Like, do you also feel a lot more compassionate towards people as well after? Because I know
Yes,
I
totally, totally. The reason why I said that just letting be is because for me, I don't think there's any need to correct anybody because they know what they're doing. They're all adults, unless they're kids. Yeah, you need to tell them that ये नहीं, ये गलत है, ये सही है. But they're all adults. They know what they're doing, and what is right for them can be wrong for me, and what is right for me can be wrong for them.
Hmm, absolutely, no, so true. Has there ever been a time though where you felt like you had to people please ever?
I was being told to, but the problem is that I cannot live a life in pretense, so I couldn't.
Great. Nah, I think that's great though. I think that's really good. I think that's something very admirable about you. But look, I think on a final note, Daisy, 10 years have passed, and here you
Yeah.
are having this discussion
Yes.
about how 10 years have passed. I
I
think in
know
the
it is I still can't believe it's been 10 years and I feel that I've just started. I'm like abhi to shuru hua tha.
वही तो exactly, but that's a
But
good spirit.
why are we even I don't so in my defense I'll say okay we have lost 2 years in between. So it's not 10 years technically, it's just 8. Because we all
Yeah,
were at home for 2 years.
yeah. I think yeah, no one literally like counts like 2020 or 2021 for that matter.
Yeah,
Um
nobody counts those 2 years at all.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's insane. But I think in terms of the future now, what are your expectations and hopes from life? I mean, obviously you've done so well. You've been such a success story for you, your family, for so many people. What expectations do you have now?
Well, I do want to keep working for sure. I want to open a rescue center. For that, I need to work. I need to earn money, which is very important.
That's amazing.
So yeah, these are the things that I've been looking for. And to be very honest, like every time I thought of something, it never fell through. So I stopped thinking, and I'm letting life surprise me.
Yeah. And it's really amazing that you're passionate towards animals as well. Honestly, like I feel like
Yeah,
it's
I have an unwavering love towards them, and I think it comes in me from my dad because me and my dad, I remember when I was like really little, when I was like, I guess 11, 12 years old, we had this dream of opening a rescue center. And I think that is something that has been carried forward till date. The thought.
Oh, bless. Well, I'm sure when that happens, Uncle will be definitely most proud and happy for you, I'm sure. And I think I'm sure as Auntie would be as well. But
Yeah.
no, I think it's been so lovely, Daisy. Thank you so much for joining me on Filme
Thank you.
Shilmy.
Thank you,
So
Anuj.
lovely. Always so lovely to
Lovely
interact
talking
with
to
you.
you.
Likewise, thank you. All right then.
Bye.
Take it,
Bye.
Daisy.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.